From the Tour de Yorkshire to the thousands who use the bike on their daily commute, York is a keen cycling city. But before the bicycle, there was another way to get around, and one international group is celebrating its 200th birthday by travelling 100 miles from York to Burton Constable.
We're riding hobby horses or draisines, which are the very first, inverted commas, bicycle, because they're not really a bicycle because they were invented before the pedal was put onto the bicycle. So these were invented in 1817, was the draisine, which is what I'm riding, invented by the Baron von Dress in Germany, and it was the very first balance bike, as you would call it today, to enable man and machine to roll efficiently along the roads.
In 1819, 2 years after the draisine, Dennis Johnson invented an English version, which was quickly dubbed the hobby horse, both of which revolutionised transportation.
Horses were expensive. Horses cost a lot of money. You had to feed them, you had to water them, you had to have a barn, a stable. Whereas a hobby horse, you could go the same distance or a lot farther actually than a horse. A horse was usually limited to about 7 or 8 miles, and the hobby horse was somewhat unlimited. And so it allowed man to travel farther. The hobby horse wasn't around a real long time because it was not really practical. You can't carry things on it, you couldn't, take it to market.
But how does the hobby horse actually work?
Most of us have got solid rubber tyres which are stuck onto the iron tyre which holds the wheel together, and that just makes it a little bit softer. But they're a very efficient machine because you've got your weight resting on the hobby horse or the draisine, and you just paddle your feet along and you glide between strides.
Although short-lived, this simple invention allowed for the progression of society in more ways than one.
The bicycle, it turned the women loose, okay? It's credited with the emancipation of women. Women could suddenly get out, and they weren't these dainty little things that weren't supposed to do anything. They got out and ride bicycles. And it got them away from the terrible dresses that they had to wear, the cumbersome dresses.
This bicycle, eventually evolved into a velocipede, penny farthing, the modern bicycle and tricycle, and that's what Carl Benz put his first car engine on, a tricycle. And Henry Ford put his first engine on a quadricycle with 4 wheels, but they were bicycle components, and that has evolved into modern transport. This was the father machine of modern transportation.
From pushing to then cycling, these simple machines allowed for the creation not only of the bicycles we know today, but also the development of modern transport itself. York Atkinson, that's TV.